Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today I'd like to welcome Jose Eguez, the Sales Engineer Manager for CLARO Enterprise Solutions, this month's Top Gun Show sponsor. After spending 11 years as the owner of his own telecom solutions agency, Jose went on to do network design for Windstream for 5 years. He then spent 3 years as a senior sales engineer with Comcast Cable before joining CLARO Enterprise Solutions. Jose, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I want to talk about a couple of business cases here because I want sales partners and end users to realize what it is you do, how you do it, and how and why you're winning. So let's talk about a recent win. What was the customer problem, and why was CLARO Enterprise Solutions chosen as the best solution?
Awesome. Yeah. So to talk about a recent win, we had a company, and they have a content distribution network, their own content distribution network, which actually they have a patent, like the way they do the content distribution. So it's a little bit different from the norm. And they have basically a node in Miami, in the Napa, the Americas, and they have another node in Courtside in LA. And they want to distribute the content that they distributed to South America, to the LATAM market. And they started coming to us. When they came to us, they said, okay, so we want to partner up with a provider that allows us to have a really good private line, connectivity into Mexico and into Colombia. And so we bid it. There was other players in the same space, and we bid it. And we actually weren't like the cheapest choice, but we had like the better SLA and the better latency, so they chose us. But while we developed that relationship and we were able to have those conversations, we uncovered that they were in this big effort to expand their customer base and their end users in the LATAM market. So we suggested that they take advantage of our international infrastructure, because we have a very strong international infrastructure, not just going from the US into LATAM, but from the Caribbean to LATAM. We have a 100 gig ring in LATAM as well. So take advantage of the whole thing. And plus we have local operations, because the company grew through M&A. So we purchased several mobile operators in different countries like Brazil and Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So we put together a solution for them, and we have our own data centers as well. So we own, we operate, and we enhance them. And so we put together a solution for them where we not just give them the international connectivity into a specific market. So let's talk about, for instance, about Brazil, not just the connectivity from Miami to Brazil, but also they can house their equipment in our data center in Sao Paulo. And then we give them access to our backbone, our Brazil backbone. In Brazil, CLARO Brazil was formerly Embratel, so formerly the AT&T of Brazil. So we have a 2 terabyte backbone. So we give them access to the backbone. So now they can control end-to-end the quality of that stream, and therefore the experience of their end user. And for them, it made a lot of sense. So we replicated that in Mexico and Colombia and Ecuador and Chile, and it became this huge relationship where their current MRC, it's closing into 200,000.
Wow, that's incredible. And I love this. I love the aspect of that they brought you in for a specific need, and you helped uncover a bigger need within the customer, which was really phenomenal. That's great, Jose. Talk about another one. Talk about something maybe a little bit different or whatever. Tell us another win where you got brought in.
So we had another opportunity where, and this is like we're really closing into the last stages of it. But the customer came to us because they own several warehouses throughout the United States, right? And their concern was that they how to handle their assets, like their forklifts, their vertical lifts, and their handheld devices they use to track the pallets that move, the inventory that moves through their warehouses. And so the way they're doing it right now is not the most efficient. And believe it or not, they're misplacing their forklifts. Like they have this huge 150,000 square feet facility, and they don't know where they left it, and it takes them time to find it. So we have a solution for that where we place small beacons attached to the assets, and then we put several receivers along the way, and we pinpoint all the time where the assets are, and then that goes into a cloud-based platform, and then we give the customer access to that cloud-based platform, and they can go in there from any mobile device, and then they can just pinpoint it and find it wherever it's at, right? So they like that idea that they were going to be able to better know real time where the assets are all the time. But through the conversations, they came up with a great concept, because they have several warehouses. And sometimes some of their warehouses are more busy than others. So they say, well, now we can actually know which ones have more movement, because we can track real time how our assets are being used. And one that's lower and then one that's busiest, we can transfer assets from one to another and keep track of them. And then once the volume goes down, we can bring it back. So in today's environment, how they handle the business today, that would be a paper nightmare, right? It will mean a lot of effort from people following up on those assets. Now everything's going to be automated using this platform. So for them, it's not just the fact that they're going to be able to know where their assets are all the time, but make a more efficient use of those assets. So that increases the ROI of the solution.
Yeah, that's great. I know at AppSmart we've been using you for asset tracking in healthcare too, which is a very similar application, because where did my $500,000 heart machine go, right? I mean, you guys are great, and the ROI, I know some of the applications that we've sold CLARO, the customer's been able to pay for it within the year. So because of asset tracking. So those are great. Well, Jose, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun Show, and that I know you know there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. Tell the viewers a personal, little-known fact about yourself.
Well, I mean, a few guys know that, but you know, when I was a young kid, today I'm 49, but when I was like 14, 15, I used to have like a little rock band with my friends from high school, and we would play like it was rock Latino, because I'm from South America, and so I enjoy that. I enjoy the music aspect in my life. So I recently, about like a year and a half ago, I became part of a choir. So we like get-togethers. I mean, we don't do this professionally or it's just like a hobby, right? So we get together every week, we rehearse, and then we do presentations. Actually, before the pandemic, the October, you know, is Spanish Heritage Month. So we did like 6 presentations in different libraries throughout Florida, just to showcase certain traditional cultural Spanish music. And I remember Del Rey, we went at the Del Rey library. We had the libraries, the salon was full. Well, I had like 300 people. I didn't expect that to happen, but it was a nice experience. So yeah, that's something not a lot of people know about me.
Well, that's great, man. Thanks for sharing that. Get ready to go on the road, because we're opening back up in this country. So, Jose, thank you so much for being on the Top Gun Show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. And next week, tune in, because we're going to be discussing the distribution model of CLARO with Ariel Cruz, the VP of Indirect Channels. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.